All right, y'all, back at it again with another video. I honestly don't have too much to say today, but I'm gonna still speak some great words. I'm gonna say the message of the day is prosperity. I'm gonna say the message of the day is prosperity. And being prosperous is a spirit. Being prosperous is having God's grace. You know, that's the overall goal, is to allow, God to use you in all types of ways. Allow God to use you in a manner that He see fit. One thing I had to realize, and I get a lot of perspective from other people's YouTube videos and stuff like that. Your experience is not someone else's experience. So although you may feel, this, that, and the third, other people ain't thought about it, don't care about it. And you got to work your way through things. Work your way through things that could be intended to, ostracize you or keep you out. You got to work through things to get a better life or have a better result in life that you want. And even when you're working through things or trying to work through things, you got to figure out a way to enjoy it and find joy, out of it. Find joy out of things that may not be either going in your direction or something that you don't see as, working out for you right now. But you got to be able to see the goal, even when it's not there, see the path even when it's not there. And I think that's the message of the day. It's being able to keep going forward. Being able to keep producing positivity, in the midst of whatever struggle you may have. And then your struggle may not even be the struggle you think it is. Your struggle may be, having fun. Sometimes having fun is a struggle. Where to have fun, who to have fun with, why I want to be around them, if they know my business, will they, just whatever the case may be with different people. Whatever the case may be with different people. Everybody got their own separate journey. And you can't expect people to do something because you do something. So, to be prosperous and to always, try to be, in that prosperity zone and mentality, you got to stay grateful. You got to stay faithful and understand that, you just got to go with the punches. That's not necessarily maybe what you want to hear, but you're going to have to do it anyway. I was watching a video not too long ago, and what I've realized is when it comes to black men and how we are perceived or treated in the workplace or, whatever the case may be, I had to realize that when you're not when people don't be around black men for a long periods of time, or in certain instances, in certain environments, their lack of inclusivity, or just how they are naturally, not black men, but just people, how they treat you, is a ostracizing effect. It's by nature, it's an ostracizing effect. Well, and what do I mean by this? What do I mean by this? Just social inclusion is not a natural thing when it comes to black men. That's not something that naturally happens, where these are black men and I want to include them in a facility that's air conditioned, we're going to do office paperwork and, blah, blah, blah. That's not something that you really see a lot of in certain areas. So if that's your reality in one of those areas, that's exactly what it's going to be. And for the people that may not have that reality, they can't fathom what you're talking about, because all they know is black men in these spaces dominating, doing great, treating people good, things going good. So I say all that to say, you got to have these types of discussions, these types of methods of outreach or expression, so everybody can have a I don't want to say just an opinion, but at least some type of communal space of reference, and learning how do they work through certain problems, learning how did black women learn, the problems that black men may face on the job that they may not know of, or, may not care about. It's a slippery slope in a lot of situations, because you don't know what you don't know. You don't know how people or why people treat you a certain way. And then when you really are not on your square of thinking that people are, people got problems. People can be evil and deceitful and harmful. If you're not aware of that, you can always put yourself in a situation where you walked into a trap. You walked into a environment where they knew they had you captured. They knew this was their intent for you. And this is environmental too. But like I said in another video, even though the environment changed, the faith remained the same. But that faith and confidence got to be done with, those good works. It got to be done with those, it got to be done just with clarity, as much clarity as you can have during that time. And, I'm not here to act like I know everything or know it all. But I will say, when it's time to act or do something, you gotta move with intention. You gotta move with force. You gotta move with strategy, and also have the leeway or the slack to be able to, mess up, because mistakes happen. The more I do this channel and talk to whoever watches these videos, I appreciate you. But the more I wanted everybody listening to understand, the lifestyle of keeping champagne and everything that I'm putting out, Dr. Champagne and stuff, the whole goal and the purpose is to go higher within your spirit. It is to go higher within your care for self. It is to go higher in how you operate on a daily basis at a high level. Because the truth of the matter is, the better you operate with you, whether and use the money and the stuff as tools, the better you operate you. Healthy, wealthy, wise, good emotional control. You can put yourself in this prosperity that I'm talking about. You can put yourself in this favor where people can't tear down your confidence or tear down your faith or tear down your high quality feelings of yourself. And you don't want people to be able to do that, to be able to tear you down or be able to trick you out your spot, so to say. Lastly, before I end this YouTube video, I'm gonna say this: Keep It Champagne is to help develop, your lifestyle, leadership, communication, and philosophy. Basically, for the men, I want them to speak like leaders, walk like leaders, talk like leaders, in the sense of don't be scared of the responsibility. You got to be responsible anyway. That's just a part of the program, and it's going to only get heavier, but you get stronger. So when I say leadership communication, it's something that you can develop, how you speak. Why would you speak it that way? What are you captivating to a crowd about? Like when you speak in these social settings, are they drawn to you or are they, repelled by you? And you're going to have some hit and misses on your journey, but still continue to develop that leadership communication. Develop your authenticity. Develop your personal sound. Develop your personal writing. Develop how you date with these ladies and just how you date in business. And I say date in business in the sense of how you network with people if you meet them out, or how you network with people if you used to work at this job, but you don't know more, but then you saw your old people, and it's just growing a better person overall, and not allowing things to affect you in your game. You need to play your best game all the time, and the best way to do that is to be within that faith, within that brilliance and resilience, but also taking care of yourself to where you're not falling out from every little thing that you got to do. You got some systems, order, and structure about yourself, and even if those things don't work, you got a type of faith and resilience that can't be extinguished. And that's because you're not giving up on yourself, and you're not giving up on the God within you. But I said a lot today that's kind of random. I'm doing a lot of things, multitasking, but I figured this is the best way for me to give, videos in stride. Shoot off the hip, do your thing, and hopefully, better content can be produced, better outlooks and outreach can happen, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, check out my book, $2 Way, available on Apple Books and Amazon. Some other books out there, Displayer University, Millennial, Mississippi. Just a lot of different things. I'm working on another book, but I got to live a lot more life in order to get the book out the way that I want it to be described and illustrated and stuff like that. Keep it champagne, because I do not keep it poverty.